evening and good night to some of you. This is a very special broadcast, and of course, we must pray. And prayer we must, this very evening and always going forward. And I will pray in the language of heaven, because Chukwukika Biama is in control of all that we have been doing and will continue to do until Biafra is restored and all the suffering indigenous populations in the damnable zoological republic are set free. Chineke na nke pụrụ m ihe niile Chukwukika Biama onye na-efe na aja ha nsọ ya mma mgbe niile. Onye ọbụla na ya na-achị eluigwe n'ụwa na-agba akaebe ịhụnanya gị na ebere gị amara gị n'ọmịiko gị ebe ndị gị na-eze ebede ngọzi. Anyị wee na-etoghị agbanyeghị atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro. Iwe nye anyị ndụ ala nke dị n'uwere n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị wee na-asị na ịja mma niile otu niile dịrị aha nsọ gị. Onye ọ bụ naanị aka ike niile na ọ gbadara aka ya. Anyị wee na-akpọku gị na-asị gị na nke ọma anyị ga-ekele gị, nke ọjọọ ma anyị kelee gị. Anyị wee na-aja gị mma, wee na-eto gị, wee na-asọpụrụ gị n'isi ụmụ gị niile bụ ndị ikwu ndị wee ezu oku mgbe a kpọrọ ha ka ha wee chekwa ala nsọ gị bụ Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke na ihe n'ikwere anyị nkwa na o mekataghị ka ndị iro wee were ala nsọ Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe. Agbanyeghị atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro ma ndị na-agba mgbọgba ebe niile dị iche iche onye nwe m na Chineke nna n'ihere bụ nke ndị etu a n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị wee na-eto gị, wee na-asị onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna nke pụrụ m ihe niile. Onye ọ bụ naanị ya na-azọpụta, onye ọ bụ naanị ya bụ okwu ya niile bụ ihe na amen. Anyị wee na-asị ezi ebube dị ngọzi na ọtụtụ na ịja mma na nsọpụrụ site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi. Ise, ise, ise.
Welcome, my amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you are connected from. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you so much, and remember, in this channel, we don't preach hate speech. We don't talk down on people. We are saying live and let's live. And for those who have said will not live, they will not live either. We are here to set the record straight, to make sure that the conventional media do not change the narrative of things that are happening. We will continue to say it the way it is, and that is what I've come here to do today, to set the record straight and say it exactly the way it is. You all know what is going on in the country called Nigeria. They are holding our Mazi Nnamdi Kanu captivity. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped from Kenya and sent to Nigeria through extraordinary rendition. He has not committed any crime. He is not a Nigerian citizen. He is a British citizen and a Biafran. But Britain have kept quiet because they are complicit in the crime. They have kept silent. They don't want to say anything about it. And today, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is facing torture in DSS. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is facing serious torture in DSS. And who are those making it possible? The political elite in the southeastern Nigeria are making it possible for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to be tortured. To make sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu go away from agitation of Biafra. They wanted to drop the agitation of Biafra, but Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said no. Because of that, they have increased the torture of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You have seen recently that the DSS came out to deny that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is living a flamboyant life in DSS. That Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have everything he needs. What a funny statement. It is so sad that this very contraption called Nigeria is a shameless nation where people who are in are also shameless. But the saddest one is that the people who are acting as spokesperson to this evil contraption are Biafrans. Can you imagine a Biafran coming to speak in such manner against his own brother, whom he himself knows that is in captivity, is being tortured, and he has joined as part of the torture? The spokesperson they are using against his own brother is a Biafran. He come out to say that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has not been tortured, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is living a good life, telling all manner of lies. How can Mazi Nnamdi Kanu living a good life and the lawyer came and reported to the court that he's not been treated well? How can that be possible? It is not a propaganda. It's not a mere hearsay. It's not as if the lawyer was just gossiping to people. You can see it on the media where a lawyer was being interviewed and he said exactly what is transpiring. He has even filed a suit in the court. He has filed a suit in the court on the way Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being treated. That Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has not been given freedom as he's supposed to be. He has not been given his rights. Even the one that is very clear before your own very eye, before my own very eye, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still wearing the same clothes he wore that he was kidnapped with in Kenya and rendition to Nigeria. That same clothes is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still wearing for how many months? And a shameless man will come as a spokesperson to deny that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not being tortured. What torture is great? What other torture is greater than that? When they have the courage to allow him to wear one cloth and appear in court for how many times? They have the courage. They are not scared. They are not ashamed to allow him wear one cloth for how many months? And yet, a Biafran who claimed to be a spokesperson is denying that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being tortured. This is how evil the contraption is. This is the problem that we have found ourselves into. Shameless people. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have been denied access to his praying materials. He is not allowed to use his praying materials. The lawyers complain about it, and they complain that to the court. All this complaint were led by the lawyers to the court. It is not a gossip. And the court gave an order that DSS should comply to everything that they have demanded. Allow him his praying mat. Change his cell. Allow him to communicate with people. That was what they were told to do. Did they do it? They didn't. They disobeyed. They flouted all the laws, all the order. They flouted the court order. And they have been doing that. It's not the first time. This is a lawless country. A country that does not pay any order. How many times have you seen them when a judge will issue an order to release somebody and they will continue to hold that person in DSS? The court will give an order for somebody to be released. Court will grant bail to somebody and they will continue to hold the person. A lawless country. And you see them shamelessly coming to deny that they are torturing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Why are you denying? Why don't you own up? Why don't you own up? Why don't you be bold to own up to your crime? Why don't you be bold and own up to your crime? Same way they are denying the kidnapping of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya. Up to today, they have not been able to mention to us where did they kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and who went for the operation. Who went for the operation? With whom did you go to the operation? How did you kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Simple question. They have not been able to be bold enough to answer those questions. That is why they are running away from their court. Today, they are denying that they are torturing him. Even when everybody, the whole world is seeing him before their own eye, that they are torturing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. These are the ones we are seeing. What of them the ones we did not see? You took blood from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu 24 good times. You took blood for him. Why are you taking blood for him? For what reason? For what purpose? Without showing him the result. Why? Why are you doing that? Why are you injecting substance into him? These are things that are happening. And yet, a Biafran spokesman will come and defend it. This is why when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu goes to talk about black people are people who have lost, so many of them have lost conscience. The wickedness in the heart of a black man, I don't know how to compare it. If it were to be white men, there are certain things you will tell them to do. They will either resign from that very position. They will resign and tell you they will not have that position. They will resign. We have seen so many people resign. We have seen people abroad resign from their post. Even a president resign. A president resign. Let alone other offices. People resign from time to time. Not even a crime they committed, because their office messed up. Because somebody in their office messed up, they resign. But what do you see? What you see in the country of Nigeria are people who promote evil, continue to hold that evil, continue to push that evil, and make sure that that evil agenda continues to move. It is so sad. This is where we have found ourselves. And how are we going to get out of this? We can get out of this by embarking on civil disobedience. The torture of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu cannot continue. It can't continue. If you refuse to join the civil disobedience, that means you are part of those who are torturing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Any Biafra that refuse to join the civil disobedience, that refuse to sit at home on Sunday and on Monday, you are part of those who are planning for the death of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Already we know them. We are no longer confused. For those who used to say that they are confused, they don't know what to follow, whom to follow, people. Today, it is more clearer than ever. You are no longer confused. Today, we know those who are following Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. You have seen some people come in Ode Biafra to begin to name members of ESN. You have seen a group that is willing to hand over a Biafran to an enemy. Your own Biafran brother, why don't you punish him by yourself? If you feel that your brother have committed an offense to you, why don't you punish him by yourself? Why do you hand your brother to an enemy to devour him? Why do you hand your own brother, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? I've never seen Mazen Nnamdi Kanu handing any Biafra over to the Janjaweed. Never. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have fought even to Biafran who posed to be his enemy. Including this very same Ojus Okano. Ojus Okano today who wants Mazen Nnamdi Kanu dead. When they arrested Ojus Okano, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was speaking up for him. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was calling for the unconditional release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Every single person that stands against him, so long you are a Biafran, when you are being intimidated, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will speak for you. It doesn't matter whom you are. Even when Sowore was being detained, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu spoke up for Sowore. When the whole Nigerian youths were protesting, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu protested with them. Everybody that is asking for that which is right, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu stand with them. But today, that same man, we are asking for you to stand with him to make sure that he is released. People are thinking that it's too much to ask. It is not too much to ask. If you are somebody who has conscience in you, if you are somebody who still have some feelings, who knows about humanity, you have to join the civil disobedient. You have to join your own voice to add for the unconditional release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, because he has not committed any crime. He's just the voice of the masses. He is just the voice of the masses. It doesn't matter what they are planning, the angle they are planning it for. They can never succeed. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu must be released unconditionally. He must be released. And all the blood they are drawing for his body, whatever they are planning, it will never work for them. Whatever plan they are making to trap Mazen Nnamdi Kanu down, even after his release, whatever they are taking from him as DNA to begin to frame him up or to begin to trap him on one place or the other, they can never succeed. It doesn't matter. They won't succeed. Chukwu Okike Abiama is ahead of them. Chukwu Okike Abiama is ahead of them. They can't succeed. We must have to embark on massive civil disobedience. Massive. It has to be massive more than ever. That is the only way Mazen Nnamdi Kanu can be released. If you are still waiting for political solution, you and I know that the political solution they are talking about is their 2023 election, and we are not part of it. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is not part of the 2023 election, and Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will never agree with anything that has to do with Igbo presidency. That is not what he wants. What Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is asking for is self-determination for the Biafran people. The Oduduwas are asking for self-determination. The Middle Belters are asking for self-determination. This self-determination is supported by international law, by African Charter law, and Nigerian law itself. But unfortunately, the people whom we have as representatives in that country called Nigeria, people who we have as people who are supposed to represent their people, they are not going for their people. They are not speaking up for their people. That is why I tell you there has never been any election in Nigeria, right from independence up to date. There has never been any election. It has always been selection. The Janjaweed select people they want to play their role and put them in power through the help of Britain. They select people and put them in power. It has been selection. They select up to local government. They select up to Ohanes and Igbo. All your traditional rulers, they select that traditional ruler who will be there. That is how they have caged the whole country and make sure people cannot have their freedom. That is where we are asking for a breakup. If you don't break it up, you can never have your freedom. If you don't break it up, freedom will never come. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have laid a great foundation that we have to follow to get our freedom. If you want to be free, follow that foundation that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have led. A foundation that will lead us to our freedom. It will make everybody free. You will be free, I will be free, and everyone will be happy. You will be secured in your own land. Your economy will boost. You will have a country that will defend you at all times. The only time you have such a country is when you break it up. If you are looking for a Nigeria of equality, there will be never ever in our lifetime, there will never ever in the planet Earth be a Nigeria where there will be equality. There will never be a Nigeria where there will be justice. The Nigeria you continue to have is a Nigeria that will have some people as slaves. Nigeria have people as second class, even people who are the owners, original owners of the land, putting them behind bar. We cannot allow that. We will continue to call for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and he must be released. Everybody must join their voice. Today we know the enemies. Those who are willing to give out their brothers, even calling to radio to call the name of their own brothers, to call the name of their brothers, people who are serving to secure their land. Simply because you have a rift with them, you hand your brother over to the enemy. That shows you the kind of people you are dealing with. Today you no longer ask questions. Don't ask anymore. Don't ask anymore whom to follow. Don't ask anymore whom to listen to. Chukwu Okike Abiama is speaking loudly. The prayer, 150 days prayer that we made with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is working. It's working. It has revealed everything that you need to know when it comes to the actualization of Biafra. Today we know people who are pursuing the right cause. And you have to listen to them. Go and listen to our brother Simon Ekpa. Go and listen to Nsima. There is so many other people. Go and listen to Biafra Unite. Go and listen to these people. These are where you will get the real information and the way forward. Listen to our mothers in United States. Umuada in United States. Go and listen to their channel. Follow them up on daily basis. That is the way to go. You will get every information you need and you will get our freedom. Stop saying that you are confused. There is no reason to be confused. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have left every foundation for us. He has given us every tool that we need for us to actualize Biafra while he joins us. And we have to continue to work on that foundation that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have led. Before I go, I have to play another record of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to remind you of what to do or where to go. I tell you, try as much as you can to listen to the brokers of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the old brokers. Each time you listen to the brokers, you must have to get an information that will lead you. You will get an information. There are so many information that he's given us that we have not been able to harness yet. Continue to listen to the voice of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Let us listen to the voice of our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, His Excellency.
We believe that the restoration of Biafra is not in the gift of man to give. No single man can ever give you Biafra. It's impossible. Biafra is the gift of the Most High Elohim to give. How we prepare and position ourselves on this very earth, both physically and spiritually, will determine if God will love us enough to give us his kingdom on the face of this very earth. That was why in his infinite mercy, Eastern Security Network was established to secure our land. And anybody foolish enough, anybody stupid enough to seek confrontation with us, as I have said previously, before you come to look for us, before you enter into our forest to perhaps die there, because you all will perish anyway. Look at Yemen, look at Somalia, and look at Syria. Let them be at the back of your minds. Whoever is charged with making that very decision to launch an armed confrontation against the Eastern Security Network. I'm saying this to the hearing of the whole world. As you all know me, I do not do anything in secret. Everything we do is out in the open. Anybody foolish enough, because I know the Janjaweed are very foolish. You know, the Fulani, they have what I call the mentality or the mindset of Mohammed Siad Barre, the erstwhile president of Somalia. They never reason, they never listen. They are not intelligent enough to understand when the end has come. The only people supporting them is Britain. And we are not going to fool ourselves. Britain does wield a very considerable clout. They are taking our oil in our land. Now they have found gold also in the north. So the zoo has never failed, not once in its entire, should I say, 60-year history, to serve the interest of our colonial masters, those that created us. People say God created. I said to them, you are very, very foolish. God never created Nigeria, a man and a woman did. They are mortal flesh and they are dead. The same way they died is how the zoo is going to die. Nobody can save Nigeria. Nobody can, because it is written. How I want people, those who are averse to history, those who don't understand history very well, even those who claim they are writers, they are novelists. You know the thing about we black people, once you do something and you get accolade or praise from white people or from BBC, you think you've arrived. That's the one thing about our people. You think once they give you one award or the other, once a white man confers that legitimacy or validity on your work or your talent, you feel you've arrived. One major mistake that black people always make. Efforts to divide the East. How has it been possible to keep Nigeria as one, as a failed state that it is, as a terror-ravaged contraption that it is, as an abomination that it is? How have they managed to keep Nigeria together? Look no further than what happened during the End SARS protest. When I preach all the time and I say to black people that your mental weakness, your inability to reason properly is why you are suffering, they say it's an insult. No, it is not. They managed to divide those who are protesting by introducing two key elements they know will appeal to their primordial instincts. What are those? Religion and ethnicity. Let me tell you something you don't understand. That is the only instrument the Europeans had to divide and conquer Africa. What they did was to pass it on to the Fulani Janjaweed. And with the help of the Fulefus and traitors in our midst, in the entire South, both Yoruba and in Biafra, both in Oduduwa and in Biafra, it appears that they have managed to now gain the upper hand in the past decades. These continued efforts to divide the East, I can assure them tonight, has failed and will continue to fail. And I want our people from Igodomigodo to Bakassi, from Idoma land to Opobo to understand this. They come to you, they plead with you to amplify your ethnicity against one another. It's a very clever trick. Whereas over the years, if not since the coming of this Janjaweed Caliphate government of the late dead Buhari, before now, it was IPOB and Radio Biafra that made it possible for people to distinguish between a Fulani and a Hausa person. Before, I'm sure all of you go back to your history, you see Hausa Fulani, Hausa Fulani. It was on this very platform, painstakingly, we lectured and educated people to understand that Hausa is different from Fulani. The same people who they're like parasites. The same people who over the years were trying as much as possible to have this cohesion between Fulani and Hausa together as one political bloc. When they come to our land, they tell you you are Efik, you are a Bibio, you are a Jaw, a Zong, you are a Shekiri, you are a Urobo. That you are different. You must understand the reason why they keep harping on your differences, which in actual fact doesn't exist because we are all one people, is because it makes it easier for them to conquer you. Common sense. They know that if you go to Migodo, Edo State, of course you do. They know that if they come together with Ishekiri, with Urobo, with his own, with Igbo, with Idoma, with Igala, with Ibanke, everybody, when I say Igbo, I mean Ibanke as well. they know it becomes impossible to penetrate. We become free people. For them to succeed is a very clever ploy, which unfortunately Yoruba media is in support of. And I have warned them repeatedly. I have warned my Yoruba brethren repeatedly that this double game you are playing will consume you. And today they are in Yoruba land killing and taking over their forests. If not for the bravery of Eastern Security Network, I do not think for once that Amotekun would have had the balls, or should I say the courage, to confront Fulani headsmen in their forests. Understand this very cleverly. What they do is very simple. They come to your land as they have done with Hope Uzodinma in Imo State. As we understand they have done with George Obiozo this evening. They plant your leaders for you. Your leaders who cannot rise up to challenge their hegemony. That is where I give Yoruba land some credence, or should I say some credit. Because they have not allowed themselves to become as divided and damaged as the East is. Can you imagine for 1 second? I ask you to ponder this for a second. A Fulani governor is interested in relocating all Fulanis across the Sahel into Nigeria, so that the Fulanis can have a country they can call their own home. In the East, there is a governor, despite being an Igbo man, speaking Igbo, raised as in Igbo setting, he's saying he's not Igbo. I just want, for one, I don't know how to explain this so that people can understand it. I just want for 1 second for people to sit down and ponder this. It's a very simple, it's not a conundrum, it's very easy to untangle. The person telling you that you are from Niger Delta, the person telling you to accentuate your ethnicity or your tribe, as the case may be, the person telling you that you are not related to an Igbo man, the person telling you that you are not Biafra, the person telling you that Efik is different from even Ibibio is different from Anang, the same man telling you this is bringing his brothers and sisters from Senegambia, from Mali, from Niger, as Fulani headsmen, as bandits, as terrorists, to come into our country, into our space, to take it over. You, his counterpart in the East, you are doing your level best to make sure you divide your own people. And when you go to some of these people, they will tell you that divided we fall, united we stand. And that was a very clever thing they did. And that was how they managed to divide us, weakening us and making it easier for them to plant Hope Uzodinma without election as Imo State governor, and now to plant George Obiozo as Ohaneze president. I'll get to that later on. Britain knew that the light of Africa will come from the land of Biafra.
After hearing the voice of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, I must tell you, I am energized. I am strengthened. This is part of the food I eat that makes me strong and keeps me going. And I will continue to hear his voice. Very soon he's going to join us. May Chukwu Okike continue to guide and protect Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. May Chukwu Okike continue to strengthen Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. May Chukwu Okike continue to lead Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Send doctors from above to continue to minister to him. May Chukwu Okike continue to give him more revelation so that he can continue to speak to us. I told you that more revelation are coming. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is speaking to us through his lawyers. Most time, recently, you can see the information that are coming. They are much more clearer than ever. And they will continue to get clearer as time goes on. May Chukwu Okike continue to strengthen Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Thank you so much for watching wherever you are watching from. And remember blessed. Bye-bye. See you again on the next video.